start recording.
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
so,
I just found it interesting. It just frustrated me. It was a webinar and they were telling us to do this and I just didn't agree with it. I just like, no.
Absolutely. Cool. So let's do a quick review of just some of the things, maybe just like one thing from each of you, like one value, one people boundary, one time boundary, one client boundary that you would want to share with us. And anyone can start.
Okay, well, I'll start because I only have one. Sorry, I was trying to write down as I was listening to everybody else, but I definitely know my top value is that inspired bigger picture thinking. I think it's so easy to stagnate, and not even intentionally. I think it's so easy to get so caught up when you're doing your business to not think towards the future and the possibilities that can come with it, like where you can go to. And we all have days when I think we're up and when we're down. So to work with clients or other people that when you're feeling a little bit down, maybe having an inspired day and vice versa, or you both are on the same page, is just the most fantastic thing ever. Like it just reminds me why I'm like, oh my God, this is why I'm not employed. This is great.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one of my top values.
Okay. And then boundaries, people who you want in your life, time and clients, one of each of those. Did you manage to get to those?
Ooh, I didn't, but let me give it a quick think. I guess boundaries, yes, definitely with time and things like that. Like right now, I'm not experiencing that where people are trying to like find me on off hours all the time. What's a good boundary?
So just in the last couple of weeks, has there been a time where you've thought, oh, flip, I wish I hadn't done that. It was such a waste of time.
I've had a really good couple of weeks, like an amazing June. I've got like 10 new customers and it's been really good. So I'm struggling to think of like a bad situation. Oh, what steals time? YouTube videos.
Okay.
I like when Cheryl was also talking about something. So yeah, that like getting sucked into that rabbit hole. Yeah. I wanted to look up like one thing or look up a recipe, and the next thing it's 3 hours later. It's really bad. Yeah, that's a big time stealer for me. I have to put something in place there to stop myself.
You can put a timer on your phone that blocks time. Katie's got it on her phone. She can only go online for a certain amount of time, and I think you can allocate it to apps as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna see how I can do it on my computer as well, if I can block it on Google Chrome or something like that, so I'm not trying to find those things.
Cool.
Cool.
Awesome. Thank you. You'd like to go next?
I can go. Or Cheryl, you can go.
Okay, I'll go quickly. I was just saying my top values all center around that integrity and sincerity and honesty, which are so integral, and they overlap each other. But definitely a one that's crept up high on my list is that of growth, personal growth, and looking for growth within the business, respect of the environment, and a very deep-seated responsibility towards clients, but an interrelated situation where the relationship with our clients is vital, and I've found keeping that relationship pure and wholesome is one of my values. Boundaries and all the people I want in my life, I think I'm similar to you, Heather. I've purged a lot of people who sort of drift in and out and don't add value to my life. And I'm in a much smaller circle at the moment, and just loving the the mutual respect and understanding that we have with friends and family, and we all uplift each other, and nobody is there to hurt you or to, no one has a hidden agenda. So that those are the people I want in my life, and I want to keep them there. Definitely what gives me time is to plan my day and try and put structure in my day. I find fitting in my exercise session in the morning, even though it takes time in the morning, it helps me feel energized for the rest of the day, and I'm able to be more productive.
Yeah.
Social media definitely steals my time. I can't switch it off because a lot of our business is through social media, and I've got to have my phone on all the time because I'm not always at my laptop, and I'm the person who pays accounts and has to give clearance on certain things. I have to keep my phone handy, and I have to listen to those beeps and pay attention. So I can't say I'm only going to look at my phone during certain hours of the day. I can't do that. The office is in touch with me all the time. So that's a bit of a difficult one. But and home chores. I love doing things around my home. Like I find it quite energizing to go and hang up washing, for instance. Because I do it with such care and love, and I enjoy doing it. I enjoy cooking. So I've got to make sure that I don't give that too much of my time, because it does take away from things that I should be doing. I'm doing it because I like it, and sometimes because I don't feel like doing what's waiting for me at my desk. Yeah, and the people who are, yeah, that's about it from me. It's good enough.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll go for it. My top value at the moment is resourcefulness and just making the most of what's around me, and whether that's time or energy. Being also able to see the potential in things, whether it's space or an area, or essentially getting something out of whatever it is. Boundaries with clients at the moment is the key thing for me is just focusing on people that actually do want to grow food, and grow food for the good of their environments and the broader environment. So I stick to, I'm turning away clients that are requesting stuff outside that, work outside that, because it just draws me away and creates a whole nother demand for energy. So I'm not taking on anything within that space. And then time boundaries, also just within, working with people and on things that are within an 8 to 5 type of setup, particularly during the week, and not taking on things during the weekend when it's, you need that time to recoup your energy and do other things other than being pulled into commitments of work commitments. And then boundaries with people, it's a lot to do with just engaging or connecting with people that have energy. And I think that's potentially I guess it's, for all of us, it's something we don't really get involved with people that are I'm not getting involved with people that have that lack of energy and that, that vision and just the will to just be happy and excited. It's for me, I really need that personally to avoid that. So
Oh, thank you. Jules?
Okay. Sorry, coughing in your ear. Okay, my top value is freedom. The main reason why I have the remoteness on my business, and I concentrate and I make my business as remote as possible, because that's very important for me to still run the business and still do what I want to do. Boundaries, people who I want in my life. basically people who I can learn from and that can learn from me and who I can make a difference in. So I mean, I'm not going to stick by the fact that I want people the same values as me, because I feel as if people have different values, I can still, maybe you learn from. So basically people who will give value, and also as important is that I can give value to their life. Time, who or what gives you time? So obviously clients is an issue, but that's a working project. And decent staff also give you time. But more importantly is myself. I'm the one that gives myself time, so I can, like Cheryl says, I also love hanging washing out. I don't know why. It's also very therapeutic, and I love cooking. Yeah, I don't know what it is about it. I don't even, yeah. So if I want to cook at 3:00 in the afternoon, I will make time to do it. And then I'll make sure that I catch up with my stuff at 6:00, because I mean, I do have that freedom, which goes back to my values. So I feel as if I'm the most important person in my life for time. And then clients who are clients, respect for my boundaries. So that's a big thing for me. And that's something I'll be wanting to do, is go through my client list and actually also the ones that are not sticking to boundaries and kind of either need to get with the program or go. So that's a work in progress for me. Social media is not a problem. I hate it. I'm forced to go on it against my will.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm clear on that one. Thank you.
Awesome. That's great. Okay, so before we move on, I'm just going to go through this because this is something that you can do, that you can do on your own. But we're wanting to look at, building like a portfolio of our lifestyle goals, so that it's not just business goals that we focused on, but that we actually have lifestyle goals that support our dreams. So, it's your goals, your desires, not only as an entrepreneur, but as a person. Who do you want to spend time with? What's on your travel wish list, and having a calendar that supports your bigger why. So before we jump into that, and I'm going to leave you to do that on your own, in your own time, not now, because I really want to get into the building systems elements. But let's just have a body break now. So it's 3 minutes to 10. If we come back at 5 past, is that enough for you to grab a coffee, do what you need to do?
Cool. Yeah, that's good. Thanks.
All right. See you then. Lou, we just on a break until 5 past. you want to grab a coffee. So this is just so that we make sure that we're building a business around our lifestyle, not the other way around. So knowing what your top values are so they can continuously guide you in your decision making. And then putting, living and communicating those values out to the world, and then putting boundaries in place. So boundaries around, who are the types of people that you want to have in your life. You don't want people that are, going to bring your energy down, or are, have different values to you that really make you feel compromised when you're with them. And then looking at time, who or what gives you time, and who or what steals time, and putting some boundaries in place around that. And then clients, who are the clients that you want that are respectful of your boundaries. So making sure that you've got boundaries around, one of the things that I was just saying, because I haven't been well, is, energy becoming one of my highest values now, and just not, answering calls after hours, not working on the weekends, just putting those boundaries in place. So just working through that. And then looking at putting together, and this is something that I want you guys to do on your own. I don't want to spend time doing this now. I'd rather that we focus on more on the systems and processes, etc. that I want to focus on. If we've got time, we can come back to it. But really building a lifestyle, having a portfolio of lifestyle goals. So looking at your life more holistically, and putting goals and dreams in place, into your calendar that are going to allow you to live into that dream lifestyle. So, you know, making sure that your travel wish list and who you want to spend time with is all in your calendar. So I want you to think about, you know, what are those lifestyle goals, and you can go and do that on your own. You know, do you want to travel overseas once a year? When is it important for birthdays and celebrations? I've got my 30th wedding anniversary coming up. So, you know, making sure that there's time allocated for that. And so I'm sharing this annual calendar lifestyle method with you. So this is for you to put all of these things into your calendar. So, you know, what holidays do you want to celebrate? So it could be, you know, Christmas in December. It could be that Easter is very important for you and you're going to take an Easter break, the Chinese New Year or Ramadan or whatever. But what are the holidays, you know, like we're going overseas in August to go and see our kids in the States, making sure that that's in the holiday, in your calendar. And then thinking about, you know, your ancestry, what do you want to tap into? Like, is there something that you want to explore around your ancestry? Maybe you want to go to a place where your grandfather was born, or maybe you want to allocate some time to put together a family tree, whatever it is around that. So, you know, just tapping into that. And then your family. So, you know, do you want to spend time with your parents in January, your cousins in February? You know, is there a big birthday that, you know, does your birthday happen in May? So you want to actually take like a week off to celebrate that. Maybe you want to parents, siblings, other birthdays, grandparents. Maybe that's when you see your grandparents, etc. in December. So then this is looking at all those different things, being a go-giver. So where do you want to go and give? What retreats are you planning for yourself? We've got a retreat coming up in September that I'm running with James, where we're going to really look at deep diving into health. We're going to be deep diving into mindset and real personal transformation. And that's in the Karoo. Time to strategize and plan and, you know, debrief your year in December, and then making time, you know, for friends. So having this as your, actually putting this in your calendar. So blocking out time, like I'm going to see my mom in July, blocking that into your calendar. And then what you can do is you can have a look at it and you can see, okay, actually of the 365 days of the year, I've got 244 days to make my business work. And so when you have got that focused business time, you then have that focused business time, but you are having these other breaks in between. And I absolutely love what Brendon Burchard says. He says that if you can get into this kind of a rhythm, you won't have burnout. And that is, you work for 6 weeks, you take a long weekend. So every 6 weeks, you take a long weekend. Then every 3 months, you take 5 days off. So you have like a week off. Every 6 months, you have 2 weeks off. And every year, you have 4 weeks off. So that's a lot. But if you think about breaking that up into these kinds of things, I mean, it's not necessarily, you know, that is only you going on holiday, you having that long weekend. That could be incorporated in with spending time with your cousins, or something that like fulfills you, like going and volunteering at an orphanage, whatever it is, having this detox spa. So thinking about actually starting even now to look at next year and designing, you know, what is it that, what do you want to do in the next 6 months between now and the end of the year? Because they're going to go by in a flash. And then what are like the big things that you want to do next year? Like I know Fred and I were talking this morning about like going on a overseas holiday. So, you know, putting that, when is that going to work? When is that going to, is that the best time from a business perspective, but to make sure that it's there. So take this calendar and apply it to your life and to your business. Do you have any questions around that?
Yeah, Heather, am I on mute? How do you plan for the spontaneous things then that creep into your calendar? that
that's-
suddenly require your attention.
Yeah.
And it requires a couple of days that you've got to leave the office and go somewhere.
Yeah.
And you haven't really planned for that. So is there a certain amount of leniency in that structure?
Yeah, definitely. So I mean, we obviously like we can't control, life happens around us, and stuff happens and opportunities come up, and then you can check in with your value system. So obviously if it's critical and it's urgent, like somebody's sick or a family member, whatever, then you're going to have to go and deal with that. But if you've got this plan, it's always something that you can come back to, and you can go, okay, well, Flip, I didn't, I'm not going to now, I'm going to Durban to go and see my mother. So therefore I'm not going to be able to maybe go away on that weekend, or I'm not going to be able to take that whole week off. So I'm going to go for a night. I'm going to go for 2 nights. But when you've actually got it mapped out like this, then you can at least see, okay, this is what I'm dealing with. And so, create that time. You'll be able to manage your time far more effectively. But this makes sure that you are designing your business around your lifestyle, not your lifestyle around your business.
Okay, thank you.
You don't always get it right, but it's, at least the plan's in place and it's there. Cool. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to hop into our business process mapping. And this is really the first step towards predictive freedom. So you are not going to have freedom. I mean, I just started working with this entrepreneur who carries her entire business in her head. Her entire business is in her head. If something happened to her, God forbid, nobody would know how to do anything in the business. And so you're continuously tied to your business because nobody knows how to do anything in your business if you're not there. So what we're going to look at doing here is we're going to be looking at identifying and mapping some of your business key processes, and we're going to get what's in your head, out of your head, on record. So whether that's paper, digital, audio. And what I've started doing in my business around this is that I've got a big A3 or A2 piece of paper or flip chart paper, and just starting to map out those processes on paper or digitally, or you can do it with voice notes, etc. Because what that allows you to do, it allows you to hand over to somebody else, and then that becomes repeatable in your business. And this is the key game changer in taking your business to the next level and taking your life to the next level. So, there's a lot of different process mapping software that you can use. There is Lucid Charts, which is great. There's Venngage Infographic Maker. So if you want to make little infographics that define the step-by-step process, you can. You can use Canva. And this gives you a visual process that's easily shared with colleagues and staff and members. And I'm sure there's other mapping software out there, but I just wanted to share a couple of the options with you. And then there's process mapping apps. So my favorite here, which I'm most familiar with, is Trello. And this is fantastic for actually process mapping. People can actually you can work on it in a group. People can put their input in, what they think of the process. And then Pipefire, I'm not that familiar with. And then Asana, I believe, is brilliant for managing projects. So, if you want to process map a project, then I actually downloaded it the other night and then came across it again yesterday as a process mapping app. And those are things that you can go and explore in terms of looking at your business and using an app to map it out. But we're going to look at the first couple of steps that you can take. So this is where we're looking at getting started. So we want to get out of your head, record it, and then hand over and repeat. And so, I mean, what I want us to do for today is for each of you to tell me now, like, what do you think? You don't need to do the top 5, just your top business process. If you could just map out your top business process and have it out of your head, Louise, I'm thinking of you and your invoicing here. Have it out of your head and as a, you know, as a business process in your business, and then we can work on mapping it out. So if there was one process that you could map out in your business now, what would that process be? It can be a sales process, it could be a recruitment process, it could be a client onboarding process, it could be your invoicing process. What would it be? And then tell me what it is.
Oh, so mine is actually my tenant move out, move in process.
Okay, cool.
Or yeah, like I don't even want to call it a key handover because that's like just one of the steps that happens in this whole process.
Okay.
But I've never actually written it down. I've just got it in my head.
Okay, great. Shares?
It's actually difficult for me to go through that because I actually don't get involved with the processes. We've got an office manager who handles from inquiry all the way through to job cards, to inquiry, to invoicing, to pro formas and quotes, to invoicing and to job cards, following into the technical process, the importing. So I don't get involved with the processes.
So just in terms of, there were a few things that you said. So there was your client relationship that you spoke about. So I don't know if you're involved in any of that. So
yeah, we actually have a document which is our it goes from inquiry. It's a massive spreadsheet that every single person populates from the moment the phone rings. So we have our first tab, which is our inquiry.
Yeah.
And all the details, whichever salesperson handles that inquiry fills in all the details. And then the next tab is inquiry turned into prospect. Okay. And then from that, it goes to prospects and projects. From there it goes to so we have stages. Yeah. And whoever's responsible for that populates that spreadsheet. And so at the end of the day, I get to see the sales funnel from where the inquiry happened, whether it went dead or whether it turned into a job, right until execution.
Okay, cool. So, I mean, and your payment process that you're involved in?
Basically, I follow all the invoices that come in that I'm copied in on because I'm in on the office email process. But I wait for all the invoices to be forwarded to me at the end of the month. I pay them all, and then I take on the outstanding debtors, and I will help Carla follow up with those clients. So it's a collaborative process between Carla and myself and the whole staff, and we go through that entire spreadsheet every Monday morning in a meeting.
Okay, cool. So just think about, you know,
it's pretty transparent. We all.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. So
we're all involved.
We're going to look through this and then just see if there's something that you can maybe refine or in the sales process, because it's, I mean, yeah, maybe in the sales process, you'll get to see that where there's opportunity.
Sure. Thank you.
Jules, I'm just going through as you are on my screen.
Okay. I had to think about this. So basically mine would also, mine would be the client's admin, the onboarding, the service level agreements. Just to keep my, the agreements between me and my clients on par. And also the SOPs, the operating procedures for each client. Yeah. So those really have to be done and I don't get to do them.
Okay, cool.
So
Alex?
It's for me, it's the project's planning and quoting, which comes hand in hand. And then the other big thing is the sales process from, I think from the lead generation to all the way to a customer. Those are the two key.
Okay. Cool. Paula?
I think because I'm so busy with my current clients and I'm not giving any attention to my own business as yet, I'm using a lot of your stuff there. I've just implemented Asana with my main client, and that's for project management across all of our projects, our budgets, getting all of the team on the same page, and I'm really loving it. So,
Are you?
yeah.
I've only heard good things about it.
Very much. Yeah, we did Monday.com previously, but yeah, it's really easy from the guys that are dispatching product when we need to for media through to the head of the account, and it sends reminders and pulls everything together, and we've sort of integrated Google Docs and that with it quite nicely as well. So which we link to. So we've created a lot of our sort of base documents in Google folders, and we just direct there. So we're all working off one document area and using Asana to project manage. And on the accounting side, we've been looking into the Xero thing quite with my accountant and my Judy, who does all that. We're probably going to be moving over to that quite soon, and that's going to be a great help. So yeah, I think a lot of just in my own sort of existing business, but for the new business, I suppose for now, just to get started. But as I said, my challenge at the moment is I'm just trying to keep on top of my existing clients. I'm not really putting attention to my own business, but I'm definitely going to be using a lot of this within the stuff that I'm executing for the clients, and at the same time refining what my business offering is. So it's all going to come together. But yeah, it is. The weeks are just going by so quickly.
Look, I know, it's crazy.
I know.
Yeah. So what I want you to do is then identify the top 5 business processes in your business and map them out. So, even if you've got them mapped out, I'm going to just go through this so that you can maybe look at refining them if you've got them. And I'm going to use the money train system as an example, because this is going to help all of you with your sales. And sorry, I just need to handle something here. Water's traveling. Okay, so if you're looking at the money train as your sales system, and you remember the money train has got 5 different carriages. So it's got your lead carriage, your trust carriage, your love carriage, your sales carriage, and your customer journey carriage. Is that if you can create a sales system or systemize your sales process, it is going to really help you to get that cash flow and get that client flow coming through your business. But I mean, I'm just using this as an example. You can use this on every single element of your business. So in our lead carriage of the money train, we are going to have 3 or 4 different types of carriages within your lead carriage. So if you think about where your leads are coming from, and obviously I'm using this with respect to my business, but I mean, this is applicable for any of you as well. So maybe you have a Facebook lead carriage where you have a business page on Facebook, and you invite people to come and join that business page, and you are then posting and sharing onto that Facebook page. Or you might have a Facebook group, a closed Facebook group that you invite people to, and you share your content to that group. It's far more powerful having a Facebook group, because people can comment and you can start conversations. The second lead element in your lead carriage could be referrals. So actually putting a process for getting referrals in place. So so it's not like a haphazard thing. Oh, I hope my client loves my course or loves my business enough that they're going to give me a referral. But it's actually putting a referral strategy in place. Then could you run a mastermind or a masterclass that helps you to share what it is that you do with people, that you can invite people to, that's going to give them content, you know. So Jules, you know, you could run a masterclass on what the latest SARS requirements are for small businesses. Alex, you could run a masterclass on what to plant in winter. Louise, you could run a masterclass on getting your property ready for rental. So any of those things where you could run like a mastermind or a masterclass. And then if you, you could run a webinar if you want to take that masterclass into far more depth and run a webinar. And you can also record that webinar and make it an evergreen webinar. So those are ways that you could get clients coming into your business. So just if you have to do like really a map out of a process of getting a referral, because all of you could be getting referrals at this point. I know, Paul, you're not looking necessarily for new clients, but in your future business. So creating a referral track. So that is something to say. So that is something that maybe, you know, if I wanted to ask Jules for a referral, I'm going to maybe share with her an email that I would like to send. So that's something to say. What is it that I'm actually going to be saying to these people that I'm going to be that I'm going to ask Jules to refer to? Identify your core avatar that you're going to ask for a referral. So, you know, if I'm working with Jules and I'm going to say to you, like, do you know other business owners that could benefit from the Business Brilliance Mastermind in the same way that you have? They've got a business, they're wanting to grow it, they're wanting to scale, but they actually have a business that's running so they can afford to pay me. And then identify the first 10 people that you know that know or influence your core avatar. So if my core avatar is an entrepreneur with a business that is between 5 and 10 people, or 2 and 10 people, 2 and 15 people, who do I know? Who are the 10 people that I know that are influencing or know people in that core avatar group? Because if you've got 10 people and they know 10 people, you've got 100 people instantaneously sitting in your lead carriage. So, you know, we've got to start to be thinking this way. Then you're going to do your preliminary approach. So what is your preliminary approach? Is it that Julie is going to actually give me an intro via email to this person? Are we going to meet for coffee and Jules is going to do an intro? Are we going to do an online intro? What is the actual step-by-step process for that? Then I'm going to approach the referrals. I'm actually going to take that next step post intro. And then once I have engaged with that referral and they've come into my sales pipeline, I'm going to close that loop and give feedback to Jules and say to her, Julie, thank you so much for that referral. It was completely incredible. They are doing business with me. I'm very grateful. And I'd love to take you out for lunch as a thank you. So this is what I'm talking about in terms of getting absolutely clear on that process. So it's not a haphazard thing that you do in your business and you're sitting with your fingers crossed. So then looking at maybe your marketing process for LinkedIn is maybe it's definitely having that profile of that core client, which you've all done in your niche assessments, finding out where they hang out. So here they're hanging out on LinkedIn. And there you're going to create a list of 100 people. So start an Excel spreadsheet, make a list of the 100 names and surnames of LinkedIn. You go and you do your research. They're business owners. They are entrepreneurs. They are they've got people working, 2 to 10 people, shares for you. It may be like 50 to 100 people or 100 plus people, anything, anywhere they fit into this. And then you make contact by asking them a quality question. So it's not like, hi, I'm Heather, I'm a coach. I see that you're an entrepreneur. Can we set up a meeting so I can tell you how I can help you grow your business? So you might ask them a quality question such as, we're coming out of COVID. Thank goodness masks are being, they disappeared. how have you found, how have you, what are some of the ways that you have maintained your business through this really difficult time? Another way to make contact with them is to see what they're posting about and say to them, oh, wow, I saw that you made this post about, okay, let me think of something. Conservation. Oh, conservation's so key at the moment in this, crazy world that we're living in. What is it that you really care about in terms of conservation? Or how do you implement conservation in your business? Or anything to do with their post, so that you're engaging with them from a colleague perspective, not from the place that you are wanting to sell them something. So this is getting them into your lead carriage. So if you start off with 100 people, and this is what I did last year, and it just completely transformed my business and made contact with those 100 people. And as you say, Shares, have them moving through that Excel spreadsheet of yours. But underpinning that is what is the process that gets them to move from being a lead into your trust carriage. So if you're wanting to move people out of this, out of your lead carriage into your trust carriage, what are some of the ways that you could do that? So obviously one of the ways that I do that is I schedule an online coffee with them or an in-person meeting with them. I've been doing quite a bit of that on, not Meetup, on one of the other platforms, which has been working really well. So scheduling a meeting with a qualifying person, you can offer them a free audit during that meeting. So Jules, you could offer them an audit. Alex, you could offer them an audit. Shares, you can offer them an audit. Paula, depending on what you're doing, you could offer them an audit. Louise, you can offer them an audit. Let's do a virtual walkthrough of your house. These are the few things that I can see would help, do this, do that. And then provide them, provide feedback within 2 days. So, other ways of building trust is you can share some expertise with them. You can invite them to a webinar. You can invite them to a masterclass. They're getting a sense of you. So ways to build trust is when they're having those touch points with you. And that is going to help them to feel safe with you. You can show them your your recommendations that you've got from people. If you have written a PDF or written a book, or you have something that you can share with them. Sharing quality information that shows them that you really understand their big fat problem. Because sometimes people don't know, like in the entrepreneurial space, they don't actually know what their big fat problem is. Is their big fat problem their sales pipeline? Is their big fat problem the fact that they're carrying it all in their head? Is their big fat problem that they need the 4 Gs because their time management is up the pole? So, those are all things that I can work with people before they've even come on board with me, to share that content with them and help them to trust me, that they know that they can work with me. And we moving from the lead carriage to the trust carriage. And what is that actual process? So is it a one-on-one meeting? Is it a webinar? Is it a masterclass that's going to help to build trust? Is it shares your your ISO, ISO registration or ISO reports, where you've gone and you've done a survey of a client? Is it showing them how a client's gone from being red in this area to orange to green? So those are all ways that are going to help you to build trust in your trust carriage. So now they're trusting you, and now you want to move them into your love carriage. So the difference between building trust and love is that when you are building trust, what you're doing there is you're making them feel safe. You're giving them access to you. They are starting to trust you, that you are the person that they should be dealing with in order to solve this particular problem. Love is when they want more of you. They start raving about you before they've even done business with you. So you know, I might not be one of Jules's clients yet. I'm going to be, but tell people about Julie all the time. If I've got a client that needs, you know, somebody to help them with their tax or with their compliance or whatever, I'm going to refer them to Julie. And so it's because I love what she does. I'm going to refer people to Alex because I love what he does. I'm going to refer people to Paula. And am I back? Alex, I see you unmuted. Can you hear me? Because I just got booted off.
Yes, but there's a bigger connection and a bigger one. I don't know if it's me as well.
No.
I got booted off my connection.
Something.
Okay, I'm just trying to turn on my phone. Let me just see.
But you're looking good now. And you're
I was in midstream there.
yeah, it was weird.
Guys, I think
I really thought mine had crashed again.
Cheers. Until I've got that in June.
Okay.
So yeah, bye and thanks for today, everyone.
Cool, Alex. Thank you.
Alex.
We'll chat.
We'll be bye.
Oh, you're all breaking up so badly.
It's me and you.
Headed back.
Okay, I don't know what's going on here. It's, so I'm just going to try and hotspot off my phone and just see if that's any better. Hey, tech. Did Paula have to leave as well?
It's like she's gone. She had to dip out. She has 2 deadlines before load shedding starts.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
Mm.
All right.
Yeah,
Let's carry on. So looking at, you know, what I might do to move people into my love carriage is, you know, schedule a boutique monthly event. So this could be something like a lunch that I run, and then, you know, invite qualifying people to attend that, and then deliver like really high quality content to attendees, and then follow up with a personal strategy call. So one of the things that I do in my business from a love carriage perspective is definitely on my webinars. It goes deeper than just building trust there, because I am, you know, delivering high quality content to the attendees. I'm offering people a personal strategy call after that. And so even if they don't work with me, even if they don't end up working with me, very often those people that attend my webinars do refer people to me. So it's interesting to get referrals from people that haven't even actually, you know, come and worked with me myself. But because they have really received love from me and they're in that love carriage and I'm helping them solve those problems, then it is, it feeds into a referral strategy if they don't then come on board with me anyway. But they generally do end up in the long run coming on board. So, you know, these are process maps that you can then map out for your business that is particular to your business. So Shez, how do you get that person from being in that lead element of your spreadsheet into that next thing? That's a process. So then looking at your sales carriage, what are some of the things that, you know, what is the process that you can do for your sales carriage? And that is to check in with your sales pipeline daily, book sales calls with qualifying prospects, deliver customized sales presentations weekly, get a final decision and process payment, and then map out answering your objections, because even if you have a process for that, that's going to also be a game changer. Between, if you've got somebody who says, I'm not interested, or I don't have the money, or I don't have the time, what is your process for actually handling that objection? So do they go into a free webinar that you do for them? Do you sorry, just had to come out of share to let Louise in. Telcom is really making our lives thinking difficult. So really practicing that, getting your sales team to actually practice with each other. Somebody's saying, no, I'm not interested. What are some of the questions that you could ask them? How much do you think it costs you to not have this in your business right now? It's too expensive, Jules. I can't pay you your monthly retainer. Okay, well, how much is it costing you not to have somebody doing that for you? If you at 800 Rand an hour and it's taking you 5 days, that's 800 Rand times 8 times 5. What is that? Is that, more or less than what you're going to be paid? So really having that processed out. And then, in this sales pipeline, how many sales calls are you aiming for per week or per day? How many presentations are you aiming for per week or per day? What happens when they make that final yes decision and process the payment? So really mapping that out. Then moving them into the journey carriage. Okay, they've said yes. The invoice has been sent. You're going to check for payment. Okay, you've received that payment. Now you're going to take them through your proper expectations call. What gets said in that expectations call to them? So what is that onboarding that they are going to know that, okay, once a month they are going to have an hour of time with you. Then you're going to take, what is your process for delivering of your wow products and services? So is it that you see them once a month? Is it that they are allocated a certain amount of time? Is it that they can WhatsApp you Monday to Thursday from 8 until 5? Is it that you then take them out for a special lunch? So like when I joined the Circle of Excellence, Mark and Lundy, it's like this amazing flipping experience that you go through. You go out for lunch with them, you start the process, but it starts with that expectations call and then a strategy call. And then, this is how you use the dashboard. This is how you use the products. This is what you license to use. This is how you can use it. So, all of those things. So I've just included the money train here, because what you would do here is you would have you've got your lead carriage over here, and then you've got your process map. So what is the first step? What's the second step? What's the third step? What's the fourth step? And then what are your measures that you're going to put in place? Then your trust carriage. Okay, so maybe it's, like I said, like a masterclass, or it's one-on-one meetings. How many? You wanted to have 10 one-on-one meetings this month. How many did you actually have? And then, what are the ways that you build trust in that meeting? Love carriage. Okay, I'm not going to go through everything because we've just been through it. And then having your sales activity planner and actually mapping out your sales activity and making sure that you have that. And I'll have a look and see whether I think I've got a separate blueprint of that. So I'll just make a note here to email that to you. So that you've got that as a separate document, because then that's going to help you to map out that sales, that sales process. So you can take any of those different things and look at building systems around them. Any elements of your business and build a system around it. And So you need to master your business processes through repeating them consistently. And then you record your business intelligence so that it stands separate from you. Because you don't want to have all of these processes reliant on your input. And the only way to master something is through repetition. We all know that. It's like if you want to get really good at something, you need to repeat it. And so that's going to help you to build a high impact system. And you can, by looking at your processes, you can assess the systems in your business and identify which processes can be automated now and which require your personal touch. So, you know, certain elements of your business can be automated. So if you look at your sales, if you look at this, you can definitely automate your lead carriage, or you can hand it over to somebody else. Trust carriage, love carriage, no, you're not really going to look at automating that because you are wanting to keep those touch points, those high touch points. Some of the sales process can be automated, where maybe people, you've got a booking system, so they're coming out of the love carriage, they really want to work with you, they want to get together with you. So you have like my Acuity calendar system. That is an automated part of the system. And then obviously the actual sales process of asking the 10 questions and doing the pitch deck, that's not. You can automate some of your journey carriage, where they get automated emails. Click on this link to find this document. Click on here to go to the dashboard. This is how the dashboard works. But actually your expectations call and your onboarding process needs to be a high touch point. So this helps you to look at any of these systems. So like Paula said, you know, she's looking at Xero now. If we're looking at invoicing, payments, collections, and developing a process map for that, is you're going to look at what is that system. So maybe your invoicing is, okay, your clients, your salesperson has let you know that the client's coming on board. And you'll see that your systems don't need to be complex. In fact, the simpler the system is, the better. So this is a sample process map for invoicing. You raise the invoice on Xero. The invoice gets sent out. You check the bank account and you follow up either with a receipt to say thank you for the payment, or a reminder to say, hi, I've noticed that you haven't made payment. Please, can you make payment? Now this, if you know that you've got a recurring payments happening in your business, set up a recurring payment request. So I use Wave. Wave is my accounting system that I use, and I have set up automated payments for my clients that are paying me monthly, that are on like a payment plan, etc. So that you're not having to go in there every month and flipping re-invoice that person. So, you know, some of you work on Sage. Sage, you know, all of these accounting systems have that as an opportunity. I work with Wave, it's free, and they're awesome. Then you're looking at you know, payments. How did they pay? How did they pay? Was it, you know, debit card, credit card, bank transfer? Updates on the invoice that parts of the payments been made. Send it out, and then send reminders out. Then collections, so they're 30 days overdue. You send them a reminder, they get a warning, and then you take legal steps. So it's just having these, you can just do this. You can start by actually, as you're doing anything in your business, whatever it is that you're doing currently in your business, have a blank piece of paper next to you and start to map out, okay, I'm about to onboard a new client. What am I doing? The first thing that I'm doing. What is the second thing that I'm doing? What is the third thing that I'm doing? What is the fourth thing that I'm doing? And map it out. And then if you're going to recruit, have a recruitment process. So that's recruitment, selection, and retention map process map. So here we're looking at, if you're going to recruit, what is the first thing that you're going to do? You're going to clarify what that role is in the business. You're going to create a brief for that job. You're going to decide where to advertise. Are you going to advertise on LinkedIn? And then of the 40 CVs that you get, what is your qualification? What is your qualifying process that you're going to go through when you are recruiting? So having that all that set up. Then looking at your selection process. Okay, so now you've honed it down to 5 people, and this is a brilliant way of recruiting. Is the first thing that you do is you assign them a task to do. So if they're going to be your salesperson, I mean, I'll never ever forget one of my first jobs that I ever had. That was a salesperson, and I walked in and they handed me a phone book, and we were selling corporate gifts diaries, like these beautiful diaries, but there was like a time management system that was in it as well. And they handed me the phone book and they said, there's the room, there's the phone. Let's see how many appointments you can make in 2 hours. And I came out and I'd made like 10 appointments, and they were like, oh my God, you hired, because nobody had actually done that before. And so it was like, and out of that, we actually landed the Barlow World Accounts. I mean, it was just insane. So it's, you know, assign them a task to do so that you can actually see. You don't have to believe what's on their CV. Can they actually do what they said they could do? You're hiring somebody as your social media manager. Okay, put together like 3 posts. Go onto my website, get an idea of my branding, put together 3 posts. I want to have a look at them. Then you're going to assess how they did that task. You're going to do your due diligence on them. So you're going to phone those references on their CV. You're going to make sure that they're not talking nonsense on their CV. And then you're going to either hire them, or you're going to go back and you're going to repeat the process for somebody else who's qualified. And then in terms of retention, so what are your processes for retaining your staff? And that is, you know, being very, very clear on your expectations, introductions to the business, looking at those small wins and celebrating those small wins, and then handing over, you know, stuff for them to do, or handing them over to the next person who they're going to be reporting to, whatever it is, whatever that retention process is. So how are you making sure that you are actually retaining your staff in this crazy world that we are living in, and you're not getting churn coming through your business? So those are, you know, two sample process maps that you can take right now. You can use it as a measure to, as an audit in your own business. How do you, you know, does your current process, if you have one, fits in with this? Where do you need to build out that process so that it is that it is going to work for you? So do you have any questions or comments around that?
Just very good. Thanks, Heather.
Cool. And like I said, you know, like I just do this I just take this, and you can change the name of this, and you can change the name of that, and you can just turn it into whatever it is that you want, you know, for your business. Then looking at scaling your business. So this is now you've got all your processes in place, and it's going to allow you to hand over to other people. And we're going to look, the first thing that we're going to look at is we're going to look at scaling with people and creating a team in your business. So what are some of the ways that you can do that? And you know, we can literally, because of the way that people are working now, is that we can create a worldwide team. So, you know, I can have somebody sitting in, who have I got? Like sitting in, most recently sitting in Spain, who is running my my social media for me, and she's sitting in Spain, and we working online together. So, you know, this is really helpful in terms of if you're looking for having people in your business where maybe it's not going to cost you that much. I hesitate to say this, but you know, you can have people that are in the Philippines where it's making a big impact on their lifestyle, to earn that money, but it's not costing you an arm and a leg. So it's a win-win situation. Then obviously looking at virtual assistants, there's places like upwork.com where you can have people who are assisting you virtually in any area of your business, from making sales appointments to doing your social media posts to doing your admin for you. And then the other elements in terms of scaling with people is looking for people that you can partner with. So we've often spoken about this, Jules, looking at people who already have access to your client base. So Julie obviously has access to my perfect client base. So I could partner with her, run a couple of webinars, share entrepreneurial education with them in terms of partnering with them. You could even get a partner in your business. So getting a partner to invest in your business, to buy into your business, gives you a capital injection. It takes a load off your shoulders, but just to make sure that when you are recruiting and looking for a partner, that you don't go into partnership with somebody who has the same skill set as you. So if you think back to the 3 things that you love to do every day that we did right in the very beginning, I mustn't find somebody in my business who loves to speak, create, and teach. That's not helpful. I need somebody in my business who's going to keep an eye on the numbers, who's going to make sales appointments for me, that's going to run the processes within my business on my behalf, like run the operational aspects of my business. And then obviously joint ventures are a great way to scale your business. It gives you access to a much, much wider audience and can bring big capital injections into your business. So who's already working with people that you want to work with, that you can do a joint venture with them. So those are just some of the ways of scaling your business with people for you to think about. If you were going to do that, what is a process that you could put in place to recruit that worldwide team? And then this is a big thing that I want to introduce you to now. And this is something that is very, very helpful in terms of creating enough support for you to do what you want to do in your business. So the first thing is to create an advisory board. Now, these are not necessarily people who are, you're not paying them to be on your board. There is, you might sit on the board of their business. You might, they might be good friends of yours that have the expertise that you want. So for example, if I was going to put together an advisory board, I would have, I'd have Fred on my advisory board. He's got an MBA. He knows what he's talking about. I might have Jules on my advisory board. She's got, she knows about compliance. And so these are people where there's an exchange of energy. You can pay them, but they're not, they're not necessarily, they're like non-execs sitting on your board. So having people that are part, they want to see you win. They've got your back. They're happy to contribute, like 2 hours a month to come to a board meeting. They're not in it for the money. They're in it because they really want to see you win. And maybe you repay them by taking them out for like a beautiful lunch, or, part of the board meeting is you have it in your home and you serve a beautiful lunch, and then you have your board meeting. Then it's putting together your dream team. So that is making sure that you have the right people with the right skill set, with the right culture in your business. So that is making sure that your marketing person is a marketing genius. It's what they love to do. It's making sure that your managing director actually loves to be a managing director and understands the processes of your business. That your sales team are so flipping on fire, they can't stop talking about your product even when they're having a bra on a Sunday. So making sure that your team that you have around you really supports you, has your brand, has your back, knows exactly what's required, and they are a high performing team that does their jobs well. And that goes back to them understanding what their expectations are. It goes back to you celebrating those wins with them. It goes back to you rewarding them for work well done, and treating them with respect, and having that fantastic culture in your business. You know, like you've got, Cheryl, that really like family culture that you have going in your business. Then looking at your number experts, so making sure that you have somebody in your business, whether they are an outsource or whether they are in your business, that is going to keep a finger on the pulse on the numbers in your business. Because I can tell you that for Fred and I, that was the reason why we had to close down our space businesses, is because we kept hiring accountants that promised to deliver and promised to deliver and promised to deliver. And because Fred's got such a good intuitive feel for the numbers, he would look at the management accounts and they would be wrong. He would know that they were wrong. And it just took us ages and ages and ages to get back on top of those numbers. So tracking those numbers, somebody that's got their eye on the numbers every single day, knowing what your pipeline is sitting at, knowing where they are, if they're sitting in the trust carriage, how many, you know, what is the potential income sitting in your lead carriage? What is the potential income sitting in your trust carriage, your love carriage, your sales carriage, upselling, people that are already in your customer journey carriage, taking them on their client journey and upselling. Sorry, just gonna go and see who's at the door. Just hang on one sec, sorry. Sorry about that. So making sure that you're getting those management accounts, you've got your finger on the numbers. And then looking at your wellness coaches. So who do you have in your life that is going to be supporting you from a mental wellness perspective, from a physical wellness perspective? You know, these could be like online courses that you do. Doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, someone like myself who you would be working with. And it can be that you just continuously growing and taking care of yourself, but you are focused on it. And then looking at your wingmen. Wingmen are people that might come with you to go and do like a big presentation. They come with you, they support you. They might come with you to like a big meeting. So sometimes if I'm going into like a big presentation or a big, you know, facilitation situation, I'll take somebody with me. And it's amazing how that can be such a big support for us. So if you're going in to go, and you know, you guys can do that for each other. So, you know, just thinking about having a wingman and a person that is going to be shining the light on you in that meeting. And it just gives you a little bit more confidence and a little bit more credibility. Then looking at your next level clubs. So that could be associations that you want to join. It could be joining the Circle of Excellence. It could be joining the the EO, the Entrepreneur Organization. What clubs or what memberships do you think would be of benefit to you that is going to help you and is going to support you? So I have I've done a little table here for you, and this is for you to actually drop some names in there of like, who would you like to have on your advisory board? You know, who's your dream team? who's your numbers expert, your wellness coaches, your wingmen, and then the next level clubs that you would like to have. And you can obviously, if you convert this document into Word using I Love PDF, you can just build out that table. So any questions or anything that you'd like to say about this? Yeah, Louise?
In terms of like the ring of steel, I mean, being as small as I am, like when do you start doing this? Do you do it always? Just go for it.
Yeah. So as soon as possible.
Oh crap.
You know, get.
Oh, it's Heather stuck, not me.
Oh, the master.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So as soon as possible. So you could have, you know, you could advise other entrepreneurs to sit as like to be on your advisory board, that you could meet like once a month over a dinner, and you know, you do a little presentation on your business and they give you advice on that. This is what I think you should be doing from a marketing perspective. This is what I think you should be doing from a scaling perspective. This is what I think you should be doing on this or that. And you know, we come to that cusp in our business where we hit that tipping point where if we want to take our business to the next level, we've got to bring other people on board. There's just no way that you can do it all yourself. And you can do that slowly. You know, you can build your dream team slowly. You can have a VA that works 2 hours a week for you, and they just handle all your invoicing, or they do your social media, and then you scale. You know, you scale it up as your business grows. But these are things. These are people that and things that you do need to have in place, because otherwise you're going to run out of steam. And it becomes hard, and then it's not fun anymore, and then you don't want to do it. And like you say, you know, sometimes, you know, your wellness coach could be like a friend that can just have that when you're having a down day, you can phone them and they can, you know, they'll give you a little bit of that inspiration. Okay.
Cool.
So I'm throwing quite a lot at you today because I just want to get it all out there for you to go and apply in your business. So then looking at scaling up with software, SaaS is software as a service, and thinking about what software is there out there that you could be using, excuse me, that is going to help you to scale your business. So that could be using ClickFunnels to drive your clients through their into your lead carriage. It could be using something like MailChimp to manage your database and to get content out there. It could be something like Design Pickle to do all of the design work for you. It could be using G Suite, the G Suite offering. It could be using Thinkific if you're running, you know, like courses and that, like I do. Thinkific is a platform. Kajabi is a platform. So looking at your business and doing some research on what is the software that is going to help your business scale, and thinking about, you know, if you have a client journey, how could a ClickFunnel work with that if you were going to use ClickFunnels? If you're wanting to keep in comms with your clients on a weekly basis, how can you use MailChimp? Or if you're going to put you know, give a giveaway to build trust, like a PDF, and they've got to sign up for it, where does that email address go to? So, you know, just thinking about all of those sorts of things. How does somebody, you know, come onto your website, fill in that form? Where does that form go? What happens? Do they get an automated email as soon as they've filled in that form saying thanks for filling in the form? All of those things that are processes within our business, and thinking about what software there is. And then obviously Another way to scale your business is through franchising and licensing elements of your business. So Jules, you could set up a franchise of Tax SA accounting. There could be one in Cape Town, there could be one in Durban. And it's based on very set rules on existing patents and existing processes. You know, if you're going to go to, heaven forbid, go to a McDonald's in Durban, you're going to, you know, hopefully get the same experience if you go to a McDonald's, if you dare to go to a McDonald's in Cape Town or Pound Town or wherever. So, you know, but that's because it's a franchise. And, you know, Shares, you could set up a franchise based on your existing patents and processes and have, you know, ozone franchises all over the world. So this is bigger thinking. Franchising means that you have to have all your processes, all your patents, everything registered, mapped out. It's got to be down to that final, you know, like that last detail mapped out and able to be replicated. So until you can replicate your business, you can't franchise. And then another way that you can grow your business is through licensing. So there are less rules around licensing. So I'm licensed to deliver the Circle of Excellence content. I don't deliver it in the same way that Mike and Lundy deliver it. I deliver it in my own way because I've got the license to do that. I've got license to use these blueprints, etc., that I'm sharing with you, and that is done in my own way. So, you know, what in your business could you license somebody else to do? Hopefully one day I'll be licensing somebody to run my business mentorship mastermind program, and I'll be sitting on the beach. So, you know, it's all of those types of things that you can, and that are all different ways that you can think about scaling your business, where it's going to give you the time and the energy for that lifestyle that you want to have. And then I've just included this exit strategy dashboard because this is a very good way of looking at your business in terms of your exit strategy, to understand how much of your business can survive without you. So if you're thinking about selling your business, or you're thinking about you know, getting an investor into your business, how much of that business can run without you, how much of it is automated, and looking at, you know, what is the profit. Excuse me, sorry, I thought I was going to sneeze. What is the percentage of profit that's generated without you? What are the 3 key areas in your business? I mean, obviously this is looking at my business. You know, coaching or consulting, 0% of that's generated without me, because that is what I do. And then digital products, how many of those digital products can be generated without me? At the moment, not many, because I do like a co-course. It's not all just digital, and then beginning to license content. So that is 50% is generated without me. So then looking at taking your products and then looking at what are your goals that you want to get to here that are going to allow that to be generated without your input. So looking at consulting, if you want to bring people in to do that on your behalf, how many people is that going to be? If you're going to outsource or bring in people to do your digital products or grow your digital product offering, what does that look like? If you're going to license content, how many people do you need in order to do that? So, you know, this is just something for you to think about, like the 3 key areas of your own business and start to see what can be generated without you. So Jules, like you said, now with you being sick, what happened? Where do people step up that you don't need to step back into that? Let them carry on doing that without you. So was it onboarding? Was it sales? Was it getting back to clients? Was it, you know, all of those different things? So this is just literally a dashboard that you can take and make your own in terms of what your business can survive without you. And if you do all of those things in a step-by-step process and in a step-by-step manner, and you map out that year that you want to have, you can start to really, in the, however many thousand weeks we've got left, to map out your life in the way that you really want it to be, and that your business fits into your lifestyle and not the other way around. Okay. So that really brings us to the end of our Business Brilliance Mastermind. I'm so sad.
Me too. I'm like, what is my life going to look like now?
Yeah.
Without seeing Heather once a month.
Well, you're welcome to carry on seeing me once a month. I'm very happy to do that for you and with you. So obviously I'm available for coaching and mentoring and, anything else that you'd like to do. The Business Brilliance Bootcamp, the Sales Brilliance Bootcamp's running. It's going really well. So if you want to drive sales, that might be a program to come on at some point. But I am taking a bit of a step back. So I'm not signing on any new clients. I'm only working with existing clients. So
Okay.
to work with any of you on an ongoing basis. Our beautiful retreat is coming up, which would be amazing if any of you wanted to attend that.
What date is the retreat, Heather?
The 21st of September. So it's on that holiday, the 21st to the Sunday. And there we're going to be looking at like personal transformation. We're looking at health with James and myself, and doing some really cool processes with the downtime and some yoga and walking the labyrinth. No, not the labyrinth. Yeah, but yeah, it's a really amazing
Labyrinth, yeah.
And it's a beautiful, beautiful little town in Philippolis. So I'll share content with you on that. And yeah, so let's do a closing round. And the other thing that I've got is I do have a link that I'll pop into the WhatsApp chat for you, please, just to complete your survey. I'd really, really appreciate your feedback on it, on the course, where I can improve, what went well, what are your insights, all of that kind of thing. So let's do what is the one main takeaway from today in the course that you really appreciate, and what makes you glad, happy that you have attended this mastermind?
Ooh, I'm going first.
Okay.
Sorry, Cheryl. Plus you're on mute. But definitely the way you've also coming from corporate, where I used to get evaluated from 1 to 5, and if I wasn't like killing myself like I was in the beginning, it was just never good enough. And now I'm in a space where I'm gonna design my job around my life, which kind of blows people's brains out a little bit, when they when I speak to them, and even Mark, who thank God is not here, because he's constantly giving me shit when I sit on a Friday and I'm like, woohoo, I got nothing to do today, this is great. And he's like, you should be working. And I'm like, but I've done this deliberately. And it's not something that it's, and I'm glad you haven't like stigmatized that. Like there's hard work, but there's also life involved as well. And that's definitely my biggest takeaway, is that I can have both. I can work hard and I can prioritize things that are important to me, so that I can feel like, on my deathbed, I actually lived. I think there's too many elderly people out there that's like the first thing that they say is like, Jesus, I wish I'd spent more time with my family and didn't work so hard. Well, I'm listening to them, I'm taking that advice in hard, like to my soul. So, but at the same time, I feel incredibly empowered that I've got everything from start to exit in my business, where I wanted to go and how I wanted to take shape. So that's been my biggest takeaway from this whole course. Like, wasn't expecting that, knew this would be different, but really glad that it's in line with how I want to view my life as well. So thank you, Heather.
Thank you.
Okay, now I'll go. Also, great big Thank you to Heather. You know, the reason that I joined this course was a total feeling of insecurity, because having come from a teaching environment and having been plunged right into a business environment just because my husband believes in me, it was a huge leap for me, and my confidence was, I'm a great pretender. I can let everyone believe, the duck syndrome. I'm just swanning it. But under the water, I'm just paddling like crazy, and I'm trying to listen and learn and like try and pretend I know what they're talking about. Meantime, I haven't got a flipping clue. And just try and pick up pieces along the way, because I don't want to come across as incompetent. So just having been through this, I've actually got a broader understanding of business and procedure and processes and procedure and structure that I haven't always been able to implement it into the company, because it's a bigger organization and many things are already in place. But at least I've got my own voice, and I can share what I believe, and I can see that it's respected because I've learned so much. So that for me is a huge benefit. Thank you, Heather.
Thank you.
Is anyone out there?
Jules?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Oh, is it me? Okay. I'm waiting for permission. You see, that's the thing. I've got this dog. Yeah, no, out of the whole course, I've grown as a business person and gotten more confident. I think before I started with Heather, even when we were doing the one-on-ones, I was still had myself to see as like a shy little girl in business. And I was here just because I needed to, to pay the rent. And I never actually believed that I could actually, grow and call it a business. It was just a ways to reach the end. So that's done a lot of it. Yeah. I'm losing my words totally. That's done a lot for me there. So it's kept me going. It's also, showed me that I can and that I'm good enough to do it, which is always a big thing of moving forward and not being so intimidated by the whole business world out there. So that's the most thing I've gotten out of it. It's been an awesome journey. And yeah, Heather and I, I don't think we're going to part ways anytime soon, so which is really cool. And today I enjoyed the catch up because it's also made me realize that there's actually so much more I could do to make it even more awesome. So yeah, so I've got a lot out of that today and going through this stuff. Thank you.
Thank you. So from my perspective, it's just been so wonderful to share this incredible journey with all of you, and that you're all such different personalities. And so it's made it so interesting because you bring different things, you bring different energy, you bring a different way of looking at things. And I've deeply appreciated your trust in me, how you have opened up and shared your business stuff with me, shared personal stuff with me, and that your businesses have grown. Like all of your businesses have grown, which is so really what I'm about. It's your success is what really fills my heart. And so to see, even though it's been nail biting at some, sometimes, and you don't know where the next money, the step is going to come from, or the next client, you've kept on going and you've done it, and you've created it, and you've attracted that into your life, and you've made it happen. And so from my heart to all of you, I'd love to keep in touch. I'm here, happy to set up one-on-ones and continue our journey. There's still so much depth. We could go back and we could run this whole course over again and still not implement every single thing in this course. So yeah, definitely available for that, and would love to just see you out there growing and flourishing. And I'm going to really miss our Friday mornings, something that I really look forward to. So thank you to all of you for everything.
All the best with all your plans and your trips, and
Thank you.
Mm.
so
Thanks.
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
Wow,
Thanks.
wonderful.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Oh, it's gonna be
I'm very excited to go and to be traveling to the States with my family. So Katie's coming with me for a month, and Fred's going to be there for 2 of those weeks. So at least I'll have 2 weeks where everybody will be in one place, and I won't feel like, oh, I'm missing that person because they're not here, and I'm missing this person because they're not here. And yeah, I can't wait to see those boys. It's just,
Yeah.
cool. Okay, my lovelies.
Ah,
Well, you have a
fantastic.
beautiful, beautiful weekend.
Fantastic.
And I will be sending
Thanks
out
so much, Heather,
with
and
retreat
everyone.
and everything. So we'll keep in touch that way, and I'm available on WhatsApp. From my heart to yours, with so much love and energy and inspiration, and yeah, just gratitude for you in my life. Take care.
Thanks,
Lots of love.
cool.
Mwah.
everyone. Lovely meeting
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye.